Today's webinar is Closing Streets to Create Space for Walking and Biking During the COVID-19 Pandemic. We hope you and your families are well and safe during this unprecedented and chaotic time that we're all currently living through. So now we're going to shift over to our next speaker, Laura Leticia Bahamón Peña, and she is the bicycle manager in the Ministry of Transportation in the city of Bogota in Colombia. And Laura joined the Department of Mobility with a focus on two priority issues: the safety of cyclists and increasing the participation of women in cycling. She affirms that while Bogota has gained momentum in the use and promotion of bicycling, it remains necessary to increase the overall status of the cyclist, making their routes safer, more comfortable, and a dignified experience, which also will enable more women to choose traveling by bicycle. And before I hand it over to Laura, I just want to say that while we have a mostly American audience today, I think it's so wonderful to hear from Bogota's experience. I think they have the most deep experience in this area. They really started the global open streets movement by starting their ciclovías in the early 1970s, and that really started the global wave of other open street movements all over our country and certainly all over the world. And having had the privilege to travel down there this past fall and see their amazing facilities, especially for bicyclists in particular, is just amazing what they have accomplished. So I'm so happy that Laura was able to join us, and I think that we'll all be so inspired about what's happening in Bogota and how we can, take that into our American context and be inspired to really do a lot with that. So with that, Laura, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much. I found the presentations of Jody, Sarah, and Jim very, very, very interesting. I want to start with an overview about what already Liz said. Bogota is the birthplace of Ciclovia. We have 124 kilometers of main avenues shut for pedestrians that happened every Sunday and during holidays, and also a car-free day we have every year. Since 5 years ago, we implemented also Ciclovia. We have also a very bright network of permanent bike lanes, 550 kilometers, and it supports almost 900,000 daily trips on bikes. That's the third way of transport before public transport and of course walking. And there is a lot of bikes in, in our homes. Please go on. Next. Thank you. So what we done since March 16 was facilitate and promote an individual transport alternative for those that still have to go outside. Of course, the message is to stay at home, but health workers, the people that are private guards, working food supply, cleaning staff, all these people have to go outside, and public transport is not that safe. So giving dedicated lanes, bike lanes, is we think a very good alternative, affordable, convenient, also economical. So we start before the lockdown. We made first of all so an alert then lockdown drill, and then an actual lockdown. And what we done was, first of all, an interinstitutional coordination between the Sport and Recreation Office, Mobility Office, transport company, and of course the police department and risk and emergency office. They help us. We implement a lot of kilometers. I will show you how we done. Um, but we try to do corridors as a mirror of the most crowded public transport route, and that's key because we already have our network, but not all the corridors are in their strategic place, or are not that bright, and we prioritize the traffic lights for cyclists, and also a lot of signaling regulations, and with a lot of people on the road at the first moment. Now less people. I think the success of what we've done support on the capabilities that we already had. The sport and recreation office put all the logistic, and the mobility office put all the technical evaluation. Um, Also, the community respond very well because they already know how it works every Sunday and the car-free day. So they use the dedicated lanes and adapt very quickly. Also, we adapt, modify, remove, or add corridors according to the conditions. Next, please. So that's the map of Bogota. The green lines are the permanent cycling infrastructure. We implement these temporary bike lanes in 4 phases. The first phase thank you. The first phase was 22 kilometers. So we work the whole Sunday online to plan these routes. Then we try to connect the west part of the city with the east side part, where the people live with where the people work. Next, please. The second phase is 117 kilometers. This is the cycling, the ciclovia of car-free day, but we had a big impact in public transport. The speed was very low in comparison with a normal day, so we decide put it off, remove all the signals. Next, please. Remove the traffic cones and some sections that connect with this corridor. That's how we build the third phase with 76 kilometers, and we maintain this phase until 19 March 19. Then we have the lockdown drill, and in this moment, in these 4 days between March 20 and March 24, we analyze how the cyclists move in Bogota, and we recognize that in this situation we need some connections and the permanent bike lane network, and some points at the bridges. Next, please. So this is the data of how the people move through the city. A normal day is the blue bar, and how you see in this moment, in this week when we don't have any restriction, the bike use increase. Next one, please. Then this is the data of the last week. A normal day is the green bar, and some places we see that there is not that much cyclists, but it maintains in the corridors, and in some other places like the south part of the city, bike use increase every day. Next one, please. And in transport and public transport, we have Transmilenio. In a normal day, we have almost 500,000 trips. And this week, when we implemented this measure, it decreased almost 43%. Then the next week in the lockdown drill, the reduction was 80%. And last week we had almost 30% of the trips that normally we have. Next, please. Next. That's the behavior of also the bus routes in different neighborhoods. So the blue line is the normal behavior. The green line is when we finish the lockdown drill, and yellow and red are the how it is stabilized the demand of public transport in these days. Next, please. Mm. We had a lot of people outside the first week, almost 150 people. Uh, those with the green jackets, blue jackets are from mobility office, the other one from sport mobility. And like you see, we just took a lane of the whole road to expand the space for cyclists. Next, please. Now we have some challenge like the diff of traffic signals, because we put it the last Monday and we let it 24/7. So some of these elements were taken away. We have also invasion of bicycle lanes with especially motorcycles, cyclists, and also the increase of speed that already told Jody and Sarah. So we make campaigns to make the people conscious. Next, please. Next, please. So we make a survive of the perception. I have to say that mostly of the people that answered the survey already use the bike, but we can see that motorcycle, Transmilenio, uh, and a private car decrease, and 6% of the people decide stay at home, and the other percent, other 6% go to the bike. Next, please. But the most of the people think it was a very good measure. So I think the people is think we are doing something in these moments that we have. So we don't know what will happen. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura. It's fascinating for us to learn about everything you're doing there. And then just a friendly reminder, we have built a really wonderful resource page specifically in response to the pandemic with all kinds of great resources on it. So we really encourage you to go there, and we'll be adding to it all the time.